Australia?
So I will call today's May 15th meeting of the Superior Historical Commission to order. Can't believe it's already June 15th. First on the agenda under preliminary matters, we'll have the roll call. Yeah.
Larry Dorsey,
Here.
Dalton Willett,
Here.
Karen Walagorski, here, Mary Cartwright, here, Errol Walagorski,
Here.
Bob Phillips,
Here.
Maureen Hope, here, Jill Robert, here, Susan Stanley, here, Councilmember Claycraft, here, and Mayor Pro Tem Servo.
What's he
Heather
expecting?
is.
I'm representing.
Yeah.
Oh. He's at a graduation too.
Okay.
Really?
And we have a guest.
Yeah.
Gina from the Lions.
Wonderful. Next item then is an approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So.
Motion by Larry, second by Karen. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none,
Nose
the
motion.
agenda passes unanimously. Next, we have public comment. Any public comment in the room? Jean?
I'm gonna tell you, that presentation you did was great, and I saw you on video, and I hope it will be available. Because I have a friend who grew up in Lafayette, and I was telling her she would love to see it. So if that's available sometime,
Yeah, absolutely. I know we do have the video recording of that. I think it's gonna be available on YouTube. I'll make sure that I'll forward that
okay,
to you so you can have that.
that was very
Yeah.
impressive.
And that's in relation to the historical panel that we have, which we'll.
That was the panel.
Yeah,
Yeah, I believe the video is complete, JD still working
Yeah.
on some stuff.
and I'll make sure you get that. I'll send it to you as soon as it's all done. And anyone online?
No, I don't see any. on
All right, so next we move on to general updates, and within updates itself, correspondences completed and required.
The one I completed that because I forgot my book last week, toward the end of April, I wrote Louis Lombardi about the sample pouring sign that says Superior. That's, I don't have anything new.
All right,
So let me know if there's anything else. And I think you accepted something, didn't you, Dalton? Or just approved? Maybe it's not coming in.
I don't think so.
No, it was the ashes,
Oh, yeah,
which when we get to collection,
okay,
we had to make the decision,
okay,
so we have deaccessioned it.
okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, the last donation sheet I have here is Louis Lombard.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah,
so the sheet is, we have it catalog it, but because we accessioned it and deaccessioned it, Karen, you don't need to take any action on it.
Okay,
And we've got it, Susan, you've got it to put in JG's.
Yeah.
Master. Mhm.
Okay.
There was no way to display the items and there
Okay.
was no way to store them safely. We dug into the bag.
okay.
So Larry and Susan and I made an executive decision.
Perfect. Thank you very much. I'm sure we can dive into a little bit
Yeah.
more with down there.
Yeah, if you need to, yeah.
Okay. Thank you. So I guess no outstanding correspondences at the moment, though I'm sure that will probably change after some of these upcoming events. We'll need to send out some correspondences there. Next item, the Marshall Fire Remembrance Subcommittee. We were hoping to have a meeting next Monday. But I haven't gotten any sort of confirmation on that, so I don't think that's gonna be happening. I'm gonna try to maybe push Andrew, see if we can do one the following Monday, just because I haven't heard any follow-up from there, because we have plenty to discuss. I know I think all the sample work from the town has been done, on that area to like ensure that we could actually build the remembrance there. Then we're waiting for some additional updates from Davis Partners, and then fundraising is on the horizon too, so I know I've been in talks a little bit with Gene too recently about generous donations from the Lions Club, so we're trying to get everything in order there, so meeting is definitely needed.
Well, no, it also involves Boulder County, doesn't it?
Yep, it involves Boulder County. I know JG has had some meetings with them too, and her counterparts in Boulder County, so I wanna get additional updates there, because I've heard, how those meetings have gone since they haven't been between the last, historical meeting and now.
And you also got some press, huh?
Yes, so we got some press too, which was good to see, and that's why I want to see the meeting too, because there was a figure that all of a sudden came out about the fundraising, ask being around $4 to $5 million. And that is not what we had heard from the architect at the meeting, they had said $2 million. So that's why we want to have additional meetings to see if that's an accurate figure, or the last time we heard from the architects and landscapers is the more accurate figure at that around $2 million point as well, so. Yeah, hopefully we'll have more updates, we'll have a meeting, maybe even two, between our next historical commission meeting and now.
Can I back up a minute, and I'm sorry, during our panel discussion, which was fantastic. I said to myself, must send thank you notes to these three presenters, and then it went out of my mind. Did we gave them their honorarium, I take it?
Yeah. Yeah, they each got letters.
So they did get a letter, so I don't really need to do.
Yep, JG and I talked about this the other day, she actually wrote out some text when she, on the card that the gift card was in,
Right,
the greeting card.
so I don't really need to.
We decided that you don't need to.
Okay, thank you.
Alright, so I think that covers everything for Marshall Fire Remembrance, although any other kind of questions about that? Okay, RFI log.
Oh, I don't have anything new to report. Does anybody have a request for information?
Nope.
No.
Alright,
I haven't seen anything on the general historic email.
okay,
I have a question related to the mass media list. We have a recording of our spring program, for instance. How are we handling and tracking that type of a program?
Was that just go on the website?
I think you go from the websites.
yeah, I think so.
For the town, under historic coach.
I think so.
Because I was looking for the one on the, from 2 years ago, on the mine.
Was it there?
Yeah,
The mine one was, cause that's the one that people kept asking the question, so I sent them on that, and I think that's where it gets posted.
okay,
And I think the website tracks hits, but not necessarily views without.
Right, and that video should be on your page, like
Mhm.
you have a historic
Mhm.
page
Mhm.
on the program. should-
That's from previous years, sorry. Yeah, cause I was looking for it during the walk.
okay. Perfect, great question though, Scott. Next we have volunteers. Any additional details there? Was Nancy Thomas at the work session? Okay,
I think she's back east.
okay,
Yeah, JG hasn't heard any feedback from the
okay,
videographer yet.
okay.
Volunteers, now Jade's put various work in, hasn't she? So we probably should send her a little thank you on her graduation, which I assume she won't be helping us anymore.
Yeah, I don't think so. I've emailed her a couple of times, and haven't heard any additional, thoughts on her. Jade was our intern who kind of worked a little bit with kind of identifying some indigenous names that we're gonna relay to OSAC for some potential trail name usage. And just haven't heard back from her, but yeah, we could try to reach out. I think we do have her address on file with the internship paperwork, so yeah, I think that'd be good. We could just wrap everything up there.
Can we confirm she's graduating, or are we still guessing?
I think we're guessing.
We're guessing.
I'm sure we can find out. I'll follow up with JG just to get confirmation on what year she actually is.
And graduation start tonight, I guess. All throughout till, in the paper, I had them even on Monday and Tuesday next week, so. Golden Valley's got too many schools and.
Okay, yeah, that's a good idea, I'd like that too. Okay, so I think we can move on to donors, so deaccessioning of the kind of ashes that we have
Yeah,
received.
what it turned
Yeah.
out it was like landscaping bark
Mm,
that had been
Yeah.
scorched
mm,
and was disintegrating in the bag as it moved against it. And the ember, far more relevant,
mhm.
and we were stumped by it with the other things we had, so.
Okay,
We did the load it up and accession, deaccession,
okay,
and then just moved on. We love the idea.
yeah. Any other,
Yeah, I received that information from Carol Cold Coma. Which I shared with the leadership group. It's, this is these are the people who donated the wall phone, the cracked phone. And it's a baby scale, a scale for weighing babies from a doctor's office, I guess. And a Lionel electric train set in a folding chair. It's old, it's obviously back in the forties or so. And we kind of decided, I think, not to accept any of these items.
So we were gonna take the babies.
Oh, I think we were gonna consider the baby scale.
Yeah. Because we have so many other medical related personal things that to Councilmember Shaw's recommendation and request that we do like a floating exhibit every month or two at opening. Just putting out a table of things that it would fit in with that.
okay. We could probably reach out and say, we'd be interested potentially in the baby scale then, but the others, unless any other objections, the folding chair was similar to a lot of the school ones that we kind of already have, and then the frame set kind of, cute, I don't think it works.
Well, the cord doesn't work. So
Yeah.
That's kind of the essential ingredient.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we can follow up.
Yeah, and I can recommend where she can take that train and get a estimate on it.
Yeah,
Okay, I'll get back to her on the baby scale. Which looks a lot like our bean scale. Except it's white and very, looks like. it's
It all
pretty
looks
good
like, I
thing.
think it's, I would say 20 years later.
Oh, I'm sorry, man.
I thought it looked 20 years more modern. Or 1940 versus 1920,
Okay,
so
so
it's kind of like irons, right?
yes, too many irons in the fire.
We got good irons.
Okay, I'll get back to her on that. I told her that by the end of the week I'd let her know, so.
okay, good, yeah, so we can just follow up then. So next, collection management.
Lions Club?
Oh, Donors Lions Club, yes, so any other additional updates from the Lions Club?
Just hoping to see more leaves on those trees out there one of these days.
Yes, luckily I did go out there, when I met with Mary actually just the other day, I was there a little bit early and checked on all the trees and they are getting
Right.
watered, you can
Oh,
tell,
good.
like. The surrounding grass and the grass that's right by the trees looks
Thank you.
significantly greener. So they are getting water and some attention to them.
When were those planted?
I'm sure, I think it was in the fall.
It was in the fall.
Well, it was the fall, it was the fall.
Yeah.
I thought.
It was fall.
But it survived the winter. It's a good start.
Mhm. All right, so next, collection management.
So we've talked about the ashes.
Yeah,
We have two items we want to deaccession. One is the white cast iron, because the one from Waligorski's is essentially a replica, but in much better condition. And then the school desk, that it's in the basement, but we're going to email the other museums in the area and see if they're interested in them before we do something different with them. The next thing is, we've got the pegboard up with all the kitchen stuff. I passed the picture around, so, for that,
Great.
So,
Yeah,
yeah, 48 items, which, yeah, really just that whole grouping is displayed. And we put a couple other items just around the room. Like the Wecker's egg baskets are in the fridge and on it. We put the ice ponds with the fridge. We put the little mini egg display up with the shelving. So did some of that. We found 4 other items to go on the walls. So we need to make some decisions on where. We think living room, but we wanna meet on that. The clock, Mary had a great suggestion, and we found the pendulum and different parts are in there. So next month, I'm gonna put on the agenda to do a vote to see about getting a bid to get it assembled. For that. Because it looks like it can be quirky, potentially. And then cataloging wise, we are through the kitchen items that are in the basement. And we're starting next on like the personal, what we're calling personal items, so the medical things, the razors, getting them going. And then we also did all of Bob Gabriella's stuff. And the Wecker's phones we took care of. So,
Jill, when
Yeah.
you get a chance, can you send me the numbers of the items you deaccessioned?
yes,
Because I wanna make sure I'm looking at the right ones,
okay.
particularly the iron.
The iron right now is the only one that we've officially done. So,
Okay,
yeah, the desk, we just need to make sure we're looking at the right one.
yeah,
Right, because we always have the weight.
yeah, okay.
So we wanna be 110% sure on that, yeah. So it's sitting together, but nothing's been done on that.
Okay.
So.
Thank you.
I think that display of pegboard and everything just looks terrific, and, I want to continue to tip of the hat to this,
Yeah.
cataloging crew, because you guys are really doing great. Great work.
Yeah, he did it. I do not have those skills.
But the general work that you're doing is just great.
yeah. And who painted it too?
Dan did, my husband.
Wow, yeah, you did a
Looks great.
fantastic job.
Yeah, it was the Bronco board. I mean, it was bright orange and bright blue. Sean Payton would be proud.
I mean, do you think, should we send a thank you note to Pam?
I think, it's a nice thing to do, but I don't think he has any expectation. He's just being a nice husband, so.
I might do it in a. Could I have the photograph? I got it on the email that you sent, but I might just send a photo.
Oh, so
Just
that's,
on-
yes. Okay.
And so if I could either have a red copy or,
Do you want me to send it to Walgreens right now and you can pick it up when we're done?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna send it right across the street. We'll just send it to Walgreens and
Oh, I
get it
love
done. Yeah, that's the easiest way to do it, right? Don't mind me on my phone while we're in our meeting, but yeah, I can do that.
Okay, thank you.
So, done,
Wow.
there we go.
Ask and we shall receive.
And, I'll actually show another, we have hard source, yeah. So any other,
No, I think that's fine.
that's a lot of excellent work. I mean, hats off to really making the most of these work sessions as well.
Sure.
So the scroll and scroll and QR code signage project. So yes, I had exchanged a couple of emails with Maureen related to that, just to see when the scroll and stroll occurs. If the signage that JG has been able to purchase, if those will be up yet. I don't think so, like it's possible some might be up, but definitely not all of them.
My concept.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'd like to pick up where Dalton and I left off last fall. We were looking at the various graphical approaches that could be used. I believe Darren and Dalton both found apps that could be used off the iPhone. And there were before and after views of original Superior relative to the Marshall Fire. So I think we should pursue that angle. The text just needs a bit of tweaking, but we need the graphics. We need to interface with the QR codes.
Yeah, so Maureen is mentioning, I had taken some photos where some of these signs are. I was able to go into Google Maps, and Google Maps miraculously had not been updated recently in a lot of these areas. So I was able to see what parts of original town looked like pre-Marshall Fire. So I took screenshots of those. So we could potentially have on these markers the QR code that you can scan and see obviously what's around you today, maybe a more recent photo, but then you could also see a photo of what the area looked like pre-Marshall Fire. So that's something definitely in mind. I know right now when it comes to the signage, I think the intent is to get the 2 signs up for the Lions donation. Up first, I know like some details on the text verbiage and the QR code have been generated, and then it's just about putting those up and seeing what's kind of the best kind of technique for placement.
Adults and I do it as a working group, like we did the brochure for ASCII.
Yeah, absolutely. I know we can, as far as I kind of had it in my mind with some of these photos that were taken, we could just do kind of like a slide function where we just have like one photo and then you just slide across and you can see the whole photo too, which is a relatively straightforward feature. And then, yeah, just a little bit of text about that. Be great. Yeah. But I think right now it's just kind of waiting on how they actually install the sign, and then we can move forward with the other signs to be purchased.
So Dalton, is that in relation to the Lions group photo? Does that have some of those up by that time? Is that-
That's going in there.
I think that's also related with like the Marshall Fire, the sign, the displays in the museum, which I have been working away on.
Okay.
So I think timing wise, we might be able to time it where actually the displays can go up. I'm jumping ahead a little bit here, but the signage could go up potentially with some details there around the same time that we actually get those signs outside the museum and by the trees up. Which I think would be good.
Yep.
But anything else with scroll and stroll?
Very good.
Okay, so next is just History Colorado and its affiliates. Hopefully everyone, I know JG sends out History Colorado newsletters. Or details or comments on this?
Last month's was on recruiting volunteers. I didn't attend that. The previous month was on collection management. And either next month or July, we're gonna have the collection process. So how do we record a donation? How do we, what are our steps? And what paperwork's required so that we've got it documented? Which was Mary's suggestion last year when we started this. So we're just gonna follow what they did. And it's little things like Susan and I have noticed when we pick things up, they need dusting. So if we accept something, we need to not refinish, just wipe the dust and dirt off. We need to put it in the protective bin for 7 to 10 days. Because we're risking bugs and things. And then, taking a picture of the form and making sure who it goes to, right? So we've all got the form and just some of those steps. So that'll be done, but that's coming from History Colorado.
The
So.
processes.
So that's $1 well spent for a membership, just on that. I think it was $1, wasn't it? Something ridiculously low, yeah. Yeah, worth every penny.
All right, well, next, I think we can go into debriefing. So the very first item is the April 29th annual spring program, which we'll get that YouTube link and where that's accessible up to Jean as soon as we're able to. I think JG is still working a little bit on that right now. But otherwise, I thought everything went really well. I was stunned with the turnout too. I was so happy with seeing how many people were there. I know there were issues with kind of the audio qualities, but we persevered through that. But any other kind of thoughts, comments with it, how it went?
I thought it was too short. It was so.
Yeah.
I wanted it to keep going,
There more.
yeah.
Well, I think way back originally, we were a little maybe concerned or skeptical that, you know, with just the three people talking, that, you know, we didn't know how it might turn out. I think it came out just absolutely magnificent. They had their, well, yeah, they had everybody's attention. They knew what they were talking about, obviously. And, I just think it was great.
They was Larry, I think.
Pardon me?
They was Larry,
Yeah.
right?
What'd I do?
Everything, almost.
Oh, was Larry there?
Yeah.
Yes, Larry did a good job, so did Dalton.
Dalton.
Oh, yeah,
Dalton-
sorry, you.
Yeah, Dalton did a fine job.
Yeah,
he reeled it in.
that's right, I didn't
Very
say
good.
the brands.
Yeah, we had about 40, right, counting, historical commission.
Yeah, I think it was like 40, 45, which is fantastic.
Yes.
And she's gonna send the video to Tom.
Oh, great.
Communication stuff.
Well, I was real pleased with how it came out too.
Yeah.
I think somehow we were able to keep it moving and well,
Yeah.
our moderator, I think, is credit for that too, but, it was entertaining and informative, I thought.
The best part was Jim Listoka.
Yeah, he was great. I know the problem is like,
Could do a show like-
I know I
Oh,
felt
yes,
bad, it's
good.
like, Jim had such great stories, and I'm like, okay, I don't want Jim to be talking the whole time, I wanna give try to give as equal time as possible to all the other panelists too, yeah.
I mean, the other two handled it quite well. I mean,
Yeah.
very well themselves, but
He could have a meeting all by himself.
yes.
Yeah. 60 minutes.
He has
Jim.
Would we have
That was great.
at a program?
So yeah, I thought it went very well, I was really happy with it, and definitely, I mean, Larry, I know Larry, we were all kind of a little worried about just kind of the flow, the rhythm, the turnout as well, but really, I think everything turned out very well.
Well, we sent those questions to them beforehand, so they had an idea what we were gonna ask, and then, then obviously went out whatever kind of direction it took.
I think that was a great idea, guys.
Yeah.
I saw one like that years ago at Lafayette. And, it's where I get referring back to that, because it's such an interesting thing. I had about 5 people from Lafayette history, including Jim Listoka's sister, Mary Ann. So, anyway, really happy that it was so successful.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so then we have the May 2nd Museum open and the historic walk.
Another world's record.
Yeah,
About 60 on that one, so,
Wow.
yeah. Isn't that most,
Yes,
what people are counting? Is-
Yep.
yeah.
but I count.
I can't count that high, so. it's-
You were too busy presenting, how could you?
I ran out of cheat sheets.
Ah, right. I didn't have my chalkboard either.
That's a good turnout.
That was
Yeah.
great.
Now, Dalton brought up the issue of, hearing, being able to hear the speaker. And,
I think it had more to do with the size of the crowd than the speaker.
yeah,
They were just,
Too far away.
they were too far away,
yeah,
yeah.
well, that is an issue though about speaking to a group like this and they're spread out all over
Yeah.
the place. And the speaker idea, I think by next year we could look into something like that.
Yeah.
yeah,
And I like the suggestion to also be able to use it at the second grade field trip.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I think that would help with, especially at Grasso.
Yeah,
I just
So-
remember,
so in a way, we need to move it up to look into it before September.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, maybe so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably should put that on July budget requests, so the clock repair and the,
Mhm.
microphone, yeah, amplifier or something, yeah. Yeah,
And I think the town has a lot of different speakers available, so maybe we don't even need to do
Yeah.
like a full
Yeah.
budget request if the town has.
I think I mentioned in an
so
email,
something
that
portable.
Here.
Yeah.
the swimming pool bullhorns didn't work too well. Honk, honk. I remember Bob Morgan Center just talking away and
Yeah.
the bullhorn's down here and Bob talking away, so we have little habits like that that are hard to cope with.
Yeah. Alright, but yeah, I mean, I think turnout also at the museums was pretty good that day. I think obviously the big kind of ticket item was the historic walk itself, which great weather, great kind of engagement as well, so I thought everyone was
It
really.
looks like we had more at the Grasso than did at,
I think as much as I hated
Yeah,
the bike path,
yeah.
I think the bike path is been a blessing. Yeah, it generates visibility, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm afraid you're right. Yeah.
We had several at the end that wanted to look at the museum longer, but wanted to go on the walk.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So they were cut off short and they said they were coming back. So,
Oh, good.
yeah.
Good.
Always a good problem to have when you have to shoot people out to go to another historic event.
Yeah.
Alright, so then at the May 8th work session, I mean, it seems like we've kind of touched a little bit on the progress there.
Yeah, I actually missed one item in the update. The maps,
Oh,
the box of maps is now, it's not labeled yet, but they are all in the map drawer because we're moving so much across the shelves, we didn't want them to get knocked.
Use those underground maps of the pole
Mhm.
lines right now and
That are all,
still rolled up.
yes,
Yeah.
and they're rolled in the drawer. So.
In our map case, which
In the
is
map
as
case,
a map
yes,
case.
but it's not, it's only labeled on the one from Bob Gabriella.
Yeah.
So I did not get the label done. It's not happening in the next 24 hours.
alright. Any other kind of updates with the May 8th?
What are you meeting? No, oh, I'm sorry, I was already on to maps. When I saw art person framing, I was thinking
Yeah.
of Farms map, so. Never mind.
Yeah,
Jump
but
ahead.
Go ahead,
speaking of, the art source framing, I think we have some photos to do that we can share.
Great.
Mary and I were able to go down to Boulder, went to Art Source with the drums map. We looked at a couple of different frame options there. And ultimately looking at kind of some wood grain to try to frame the map with, because the map is so enormous and is going to be so heavy. The frame itself is going to need to be fairly thick just to be able to support it, and with the extra plexiglass on top too. So we looked at a number of different kind of wood grains and colorations too. But basically the map itself is gonna have a black kind of back matting to it. And then for the plexiglass, you see that kind of straight kind of, I think it was drilling they called it, which is where the plexiglass itself lies. So the plexiglass isn't immediately on top of the frame, on top of the map itself. And then the wood frame itself will be made of this, I think it was oak, that was decided by us. We looked at a couple of different options. This photo, it's kind of the best that we're able to do. It's very interesting, just kind of walking around the space with the lighting too, and how it could change significantly. You could see just kind of the differences with the grain thickness and clarity with it too. Some were a lot darker, like black, and we were a little concerned with just how much black that would be if we want the really solid, thin grained look. And we liked this one because it did kind of offset the black from the matting too, and brought it a little bit back to a bit more of the brownish coloration of the map itself.
Yeah.
It's good, you're good, it's good.
And he did like to, I was surprised to find this out. Apparently a lot of the wood frames these days are kind of wood with quotation marks around them. They aren't really all that authentic wood, but we like this one because this is 100% true wood, and it's all sourced in Boulder County.
Oh, wow, great.
Which we really liked that aspect with it too, so lent itself, we thought, to this historic piece too. And as for kind of the beveling on the side, there was a couple of options to have like some gold inlay or some beading on it, and we thought that might be a little too garish, we were thinking. we thought just kind of keeping it simple, we wanted to draw attention to the map itself. But she said we should be able to get this actually in about 2 months' time.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's great.
Dalton, and then, is the map gonna get copied first?
Yes. And we're gonna be following up, after this, I'll reach out to her, make sure we're all set, and then we'll get an actual quote too, because we had estimates right now, just depending on the wood type too. Yeah. You okay, Scott?
Yeah.
Don't move yourself.
Where my chair is not already.
I've had that happen too,
Yeah.
sometimes, just like,
Recline.
yeah.
Do you have an approximate size on that? I mean, I don't need anything exact, but.
The entire, I don't know how,
You know, I was looking at it and it's like these two tables together.
Wow.
Really,
it's gonna be,
yeah.
it's gonna be sizable.
Oh, wow.
It'll be, I mean, I'm glad we have the entire
Yeah.
world to use that, it's really gonna be kind of an eye-catching piece. We're able to look at some photos of a similar map that have been done. And that looked really beautiful, so I really think this is gonna be a wonderful final product.
Okay, so then this is a plexiglass and the wooden frame
Yeah,
and,
Do we do anything with glare or light?
Uh,
Or is the
this,
plexiglass
the
take care of
plexiglass
us?
is gonna be able to take care of that.
Okay, and then just
Yeah.
close, keeping the blinds closed when we're
Yep.
not there, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so, and the plexiglass too just adds to the weight as well, so they also talked about the process with framing, it's not just gonna be a nail in the wall, they're gonna have an install, they call it a Z-bar, where basically they'll install kind of some special brackets onto the wall itself, and then we'll be able to slide the finished framed map into there just to support it.
Great,
Yeah. So.
so if this is 2 months,
Mm-hmm.
we should probably, I don't know when JT has to have it in. But I think getting it into the communications, that we've got multiple new displays and we can, that we have the map, we have the pegboard. And if we get up the other items, I think that starts September to the whole, how do we just exhibit more collections?
Yeah,
But that would kick it off well with something so marquee like this.
yeah.
But I know she's got some tight deadlines too, so we'll
Oh, sure.
stay on top of that.
They're pretty similar.
is that plexiglass 1/4 inch thick, would you say?
I don't know, I don't remember her saying, I can follow up
That's
to
pretty
ask.
thick.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't need to be 1/4. Like that's the same thing.
yeah, so this is where you can see like how that's the black matting too, so we looked at originally some very black wood frames too, and we thought with the matting too and how thick the frame itself had to be, where like that's a lot of black, it looked almost kind of morbid. So we liked kind of the brown, just offered a bit more kind of coloration. But I'll follow up with her, any other additional kind of thoughts, Mary? Miss anything?
Just how great it is
Yeah,
and how, open they are. And we got to meet her dad just as we came out. And he was excited to hear what we did there for and assured, and Dalton very tactfully mentioned that we know that they're giving us a discount. And he said, yes, we are. But glad to do it, yeah, so.
More than happy to mention they did the framing every time someone walks in the exhibit.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, right?
yeah.
Maybe we spent a little,
Didn't Art Source do a fabulous job helping us with this? Art Source was wonderful, yeah, with all sincerity, right?
Yeah, I thought we were gonna have a plaque right there.
I think we will, yeah.
Yes, and we need to absolutely positively.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm. Yeah,
yeah.
I
Both
mean,
thanking the donor
Yes.
and ours.
And there.
Yeah, all that.
yeah. And actually, I did just think of this, if we want, because it's gonna be so large, we'll need to either coordinate with the town if we have a truck to potentially pick it up and bring it from over to Superior, or they said they could, obviously they would charge us for moving it, so we'll need to coordinate that when it's all done.
Get the size, I think it'll fit in our truck.
Okay.
They
Oh,
also.
my husband's gonna be crazy, like, we're volunteer before this
Then
month,
we'll
Jill.
definitely get a thing in the car.
But he's got that big Chevy, so.
Okay.
It just ducks it to the roof rack. If you-
Yeah, if you're I could climb it in.
Oh.
They also said that if the town, because it will be a very heavy item, that they have a framer that could handle that. If the town
Oh, for
didn't
Amy.
feel like they could.
Yeah, someone that
Adequately.
could commit themselves to.
It might be worth doing it,
Yeah.
doing it that way.
Yeah, I don't know if you were including anything, but maybe, identifying the donor of the map also.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, in the little details, yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. Mm. And I was just thinking about this too, if we're trying to get more information about her, kind of tying it in with Colin. When we know that it's gonna be framed, we can maybe ask if Isaac's available or someone to take photos or videos of it being put in, I think that could be
Good idea.
logistics. All right. So next, any other kind of items with art source?
Thank you guys for doing that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
So next we have the Heritage Roundtable, and Amfran, Larry.
So the Amtrak might be the easiest one to start with. So it was at the Arvada Flour Mill and, the, what? And, flour mill isn't where I thought it was, but, been there for 100 years or so I guess I would accept that. And, the, topic was gift shop, so it wasn't a big draw, but I wanted to see the mill. The panelists did so many topics that were of interest to the other museums that they went for like an hour and a half. And so the Thomas was her first name. Nancy Thomas came, that only stayed for the boring part, unfortunately. And it's really quite a facility. It was quite a high production flour mill at the time when Arvada, Wheat Ridge were just rural farming communities. They bring their wheat in there, and they had a very interesting system of pulleys and conveyor belts and all that sort of thing, powered by a little diesel engine, believe it or not. Anyway, yeah, it's an unusual deal. So let's see, well, I didn't really get anything out of the gift shop, so nothing. And this is, we're looking at
We're hosting in August.
hosting in August, Superior Historical Commission.
Before that, there'll be a June meeting, which is an ice cream social at the Wheat Ridge Historical Center
Yeah,
off of 44.
yeah, the Wheat Ridge has got a terrific set of historic buildings there on 44th Avenue, so that'll be the you say June, Jerry?
June, yeah.
That'll be the June meeting.
Yeah.
It's all invited to go. It's usually always a pretty interesting experience in some other historic structure or whatever, and they got
What's it called again, Mary? Sorry. Wheat Ridge Historical,
Society. Yeah,
Good.
it's on 44th and Route.
Okay.
and they've got a log cabin and a sod house and a bunch of interesting things.
Yeah, it's the 15th.
Pardon me?
Susan, it's 15th of June if you need
Thank
for the
you.
notes. Yep.
Now, the roundtable, we talked about Monday night, I guess that's the only place. This is, okay, so, I think we got everything in order for the Monday night. At 6 o'clock is the light refreshments and 6:30 the program. Sergeant
That's gonna be
Sullivan.
on our upcoming event, so if you wanna just save it.
Well, that's why I was asking that question that way, so,
Yeah,
okay. Then we'll save it for then.
save that great news.
Okay.
Otherwise, Historic Heritage Roundtable's been working just on this event lately, so really nothing else to report.
Wonderful. All right, so the preservation plan work group, so Scott and I have had a couple of meetings now, just kind of discussing things. I think next steps, we're gonna be reviewing some other preservation plans from surrounding neighborhoods, just kind of do comparative analysis, see what all they have, see what we can, should include in ours as far as the structure goes. Then we're going to loop in JG just about, identifying any sort of additional next steps with that. Anything else? I think we have our meeting next week too, to kind of go over some additional details, but anything else with this, Scott?
I think that covers it, yeah. We only had one meeting in between this time, we canceled one. So that was the update from our last update.
Yeah.
Thanks for efforts on this, fellows.
Yeah, of course. All right, now we can move on to work plan check-in, and as relates to the discussion of the next open cemetery day. So I think we need to maybe identify a specific date with that. I mean, now we're starting to get into a bit better weather season too. So I think maybe the first kind of likeliest contender for a potential date would be first week of June. How does everyone kind of think about that, potentially having a cemetery day that weekend?
Well, it's not opening in July.
Yeah, it's not opening in July, at least because we're not having the museums open,
Right.
because we're 4th of July land, so.
I think we ought to do it.
Yeah.
You know, the usual, both museums and the cemetery. Personnel, all three spots.
Is there time to get that publicized?
Jim, she said she'd send it to comms if you guys wanted to do it in June, we'll send it over.
Okay, great,
Should be enough time, huh?
yeah. Yeah, I think that would be good, and then that also, it falls after Memorial Day, so we could even include in comms, like we have some flags out, for the veterans, which ties in with the next item, which is, the flag placement on the veteran, graves for Memorial Day, by the town's veterans group. We don't have too many, veterans buried in the cemetery, but it's always nice to get some little flags out there too, and I think that'll be great to get some photos, like what had happened with Veterans Day last year. And it'll be good to then be able to tie that in with Memorial Day and have some people being able to explore the cemetery there. I don't know, Wally, do you have any sort of additional details with this?
Well, there's actually 3 Civil War veterans buried up there that we know for a fact, and one of them is Confederate. Which is neither here nor there, but that's just the way it is.
Yeah, in history.
And there's gonna be I forget who it is, all going up in there before Memorial Day, but there's gonna be 3 flags put out.
Okay,
I think I don't remember if they were what, 3, there's 3 foot involved in there somehow, so they're not just little dinky flags.
yeah,
The veterans have expressed a lot of interest. Anytime we have the cemetery opened up, of perhaps volunteering for coming up in there and helping out. Right now, we're having a very tough time getting people to start coming into the veterans group. I think there's only 3 of us have been there. And, once we get going, I think we would like to work with the town on little projects we have other things that we want to get involved in. And this last Monday, the 3 of us were down at the town hall, and the town declared, I guess, the month of May as Superior Veterans Day month. And so we ended up getting our picture taken with the town board. So anyway, once we get more members, we'll probably start getting involved in a little bit more stuff, and that's not only the cemetery, but any other projects that the town would like us to come in and help.
Fantastic.
Mhm.
Yeah, and absolutely, I mean, would love to see if that could come up during the open cemetery day.
Yeah,
And Michaela's group's gonna help with placing the flags.
Oh, great.
right, that's the one I was trying to think of, and I couldn't think of it.
Yeah, Michaela's group, Jamie, I believe, is gonna be out there, and she's gonna be out there while they're placing the flags.
Yeah, and I thought it was kind of interesting, they have a member by the name of John Kennedy who did some research and found the third veteran.
Yeah,
Where did he get that? Was he back in Washington DC?
Well, yeah, he has connections all over, but he could have been, cause he goes back to a lot of that. He has connections all over the place. He's a retired Air Force.
Yeah, it was somebody that we knew was buried in the cemetery, we just didn't
didn't know
know
his history.
that they were a veteran.
And they don't have the
Charles Seeley,
ceiling?
yeah.
That's the individual buried there.
No, that's what the information, well, actually, it's someone in the Seeley family, it may not be Charles, because he has the wrong age.
Wolverton, Morton, and who was the third guy?
Shocking,
I can't,
was it
I
shocking?
don't know, Ashcroft or,
no,
Okay,
it wasn't him, but we thought it was.
okay.
Oh, I have it in here somewhere.
but now you say it's come up with Sealy?
Yeah, cause this is what he had when he was up there before, but I don't think it's Charles Seeley, just because he's at the top of the page, it's one of the other Seeleys.
That's, I mean, that's another name thrown in there, so we may have to check him.
Okay.
Cause, you just have to be, flexible with history, because
Yeah.
sometimes somebody says one thing and you start spreading that around, and somebody says, no, that's not
And I
true.
may be wrong, but this is the page he gave me to photograph when he was there.
I wouldn't say it's wrong, I just say we need to check into it, make sure that it's, if it is Sealy, it's Sealy, and if, we need to make sure that the right person gets acknowledged,
What's the name?
Sealy.
Yeah, if we have any additional information on that, that'd be great to share, showcase, identify too. I mean, that could even be worth including in comps potentially, like, hey, we've made this very unique discovery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, at our next vets meeting, I'll bring that up, Sealy's name is in there. John can maybe get back into the archives again and, check on it.
Yeah.
Find out.
Yeah, cause I'm sure even a lot of town residents are unaware that we even have two Civil War veterans up there already.
Right.
Yeah.
And then,
Draw more foot traffic
Yeah.
or some interest.
and this opens up the question, are there any World War I veterans? Are there any, Spanish American War veterans? We've got
Yeah,
other people who lived here.
Yeah,
that we haven't gotten into yet, we just sort of was concentrating on the Civil War.
Yeah,
And, I can get with John, we can start checking that out, see if there's any other veterans in there. But I think, it's just the three, is the only vets that are in there, but, I won't swear that's right.
yeah. But that'd be great, yeah, if you need any sort of additional resources with the veterans group and maybe identifying some historical backgrounds on any of these figures.
If we'd be interested.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think we're all good with June for cemetery day there. The next item then is July 4th, the museum closure, planning for the booth and the fire truck at the event down at Community Park. Arts and history booth for America 250 exhibit next to the Superior Historical Commission. So yeah, just the way that 4th of July lands, we kind of thought as far as the museum open time goes, it would conflict with all the activities going on at Community Park. Probably not too many people racing over to Askew Park on the 4th, they'll probably all be focused on Community Park, and we'd be very stretched thin, I think too, so just not gonna have the museum open on July, instead focus on the Community Park activities. Although I know it's such a shame with the parade this year, and
Yeah, so that was a reminder that there's no parade this year due to construction on Rock Creek Parkway.
Right.
And Matt Rarick will be out of town that weekend. So JG would like some help, getting the fire truck over. She'll drive it over, but she wants you or Wally or someone to ride with her. From the storage over to the park.
Okay, we'll follow up with her on that.
Okay.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah, that'll be good having, I mean, us right next to the 250 booth as well. All right, so then next, the second grade field trips, and Jen Lehman's retirement. So we'll need to have a new superior, historical, Superior Elementary School, coordination kind of leader there too, to coordinate these two. I don't know if the schools have identified a new teacher yet.
Jen sent me, 2 names.
Okay,
I don't know if they're gonna have 3 classes. And
Okay.
one to fill or just 2, but yeah, I've got the 2 names.
okay, perfect.
And, yeah, and I'd like to turn the coordination of the field trips over to somebody else, or in the place where that's,
Okay,
juggling, scheduling things like that at my advanced age, sometimes it's a little difficult, so is there anyone who would like to volunteer, consider volunteering for coordinating with the second grade teachers at El Dorado and Superior?
I will, it's no problem.
Hmm?
I will.
It's no problem.
Looks like Jill just volunteered.
He'll volunteer,
Thank you.
yeah,
Thank you, Jill.
we'll talk in June.
Oh, that's coming up.
Yeah.
now it's already halfway through May.
That's right. We believe
Believe
it.
it.
Where's the new?
I
Thank you,
know.
Jill.
Okay, so that's good. Yeah, we'll follow up there. We still have a bit of time before that, too. So date options for the Superior Historical Commission and the Lions group photo at ASTI. I don't know, because I think JG was supposed to detail a little bit more on when the signs are gonna potentially be installed. Do we have kind of a date range with that? or
She
no?
would say.
We
Okay.
were also kind of hoping the trees would have leaves on them for that
Yeah.
photo too.
So maybe with the fall together.
Oh, maybe that could be good just for some photos. Yeah,
Late summer.
Like it's on the
Late,
fall,
so.
yeah.
My tree just,
For what
the bud
reason?
just
I
came
missed
out,
that.
so.
The leaf, wait for the leaves on the trees.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so how was that 30?
yeah. Like,
He's the one that we just found.
Although a lot of the trees are pretty fully leaved out by now, but
But those are not. Those are.
they are, so they're late bloomers, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And they're
you
not-
can see kind of some budding, but definitely I would be very hesitant to say leaves.
It might also be interesting too on a plaque to tell what species of tree it is.
Because.
So it's a difference between when the oak trees bloom, leaf out and maples, for example.
Yeah.
Maples came out as baby, that's interesting.
They're maybe trees. They're a new
Oh,
hybrid.
now it came out as baby. This speaks to how clearly I speak.
Yeah, so next home rule documentation for the collection, I haven't heard any sort of additional follow-up here.
And then we'd have to follow up with JG on
Okay.
that. I don't. She didn't put any note on that one.
Okay, I'll follow up with her there. I think it's really just kind of like getting a copy of the charter and,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I know I mean, luckily it's just a PDF and we're able to print that out.
Yeah.
But I don't know who has it. There was a copy that all of us as members signed.
It's in the file. It's-
Okay.
It's on our
Yeah.
shared drive.
Okay, so we can probably just print that out and then put
Yeah.
this, yeah,
Yeah, I'll let you know. I can even print that out for you guys.
yeah. All right, so next assign a Superior Historical Commission liaison with the historic museums in Lafayette, Louisville, and Broomfield moving forward. Just so, yeah, we can be in the know of everything that's going on
I
there.
told JG I'd do that,
Okay,
but I love a partner in crime if someone wants to
I could
play
be,
with me, okay,
perfect.
I know a lot of those people,
yeah,
especially
Yeah.
personally, so yeah,
so that would be great.
good deal.
Wonderful, thank you both very much.
Now, it looks like number 8 and number 11 are the same, good.
That might have been an accidental repeat.
Yeah,
I have a question.
yeah.
Can I go ahead?
Yeah.
Why don't we add golden also? For years Superior was connected that way. When I researched the straw, people who work for the old Coors Brewing Company got involved in some old town Superior activities, and the lines came from Golden, didn't they? Isn't that where the Lions Club originated?
No,
That's doing all the work here.
our Lafayette one is 103 years old, so.
Yeah. Maureen, why don't Larry and I talk about that?
I think we should include Golden somehow.
Yeah, I think that might be redundant to what we do with Amfram. And the intent was to be literally our Boulder County
Yeah.
subset. But let's look at the Amfram charter and then circle back to Maureen on that.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree, it's ended up for Boulder County.
Boulder County, yeah.
I guess Boulder Broomfield
Yes.
County now.
Yes. Well, we said we were gonna talk to Boulder and see if they were interested, just because they have a different set of resources given their
Yeah.
size and scale. That might be helpful, and they don't do Amfram, so. Or they don't actively do Amfram.
The museum of Boulder?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we don't have the overlap that we have.
Kind
with
of a
some of the
different
others.
league.
And they hosted that, so.
Yeah. Maybe it's, I know, yeah, we'll find out. But we were going to ask them, so. But the intent is not to recreate Amfram, but to be like, we're accessioning something that's local to the area. Are you?
We're coordinating our programs.
Yeah.
The Lafayette's having a program. this
Yeah.
week.
Exactly, we're doing our fall talk, what do we need? Mhm.
Okay, so yeah, I think that'll be good just to see what you kind of discussed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Larry, I'm just putting it down that we'll talk about it during the opening on 6th.
Okay,
Okay.
that ought to work.
Yep.
All right, so this is kind of, yeah, similar items created maintenance practice and procedures plan for the fire truck, which is kind of similar to item 11, which is the Superior Historical Commission work plan. And Lydia will help lead this. Do you want to add a bit of detail here?
This is in the work plan, so this can discuss accidents and speed.
Okay, so nothing there. Well, I do know, as far as, Scott and I's preservation plan work, there is some overlap there too. And one of the sections I know we're gonna be identifying kind of specific items too and kind of steps with maintenance there as
And I'm gonna
well.
help to create a maintenance plan.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna sit with like Wally, Larry, I'll get whatever information I can get from Matt Rarick
Mhm.
on the fire truck, and then just try to put it all together. So,
Okay,
yeah,
Yeah, I think item 11 has those notes.
Mhm.
yeah, there's a little bit more updates with Lydia will help lead,
Mhm.
need one to,
so if you-
volunteers to assist. I mean, I think there's a decent amount of overlap with kind of the work that we're doing with the preservation plan, right now, as far as the work plan goes too. So I'm sure we can coordinate and collaborate there.
Yeah.
Especially as it relates to the fire truck, because that's definitely one of the items we wanna have specific, information devoted to.
Mhm.
Scott, any other kind of details with that, you think?
No, I actually wonder that, you know, the broader one we're looking at is not going to go into the specifics, whereas of course this is supposed to focus on specifics, right, of the maintenance plan.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely, I mean, that's specific to the fire truck will be essential, because the preservation plan is a much kind of broader approach, being townwide, looking also at like geographic areas such as the entirety of Grasso Park, Assey Park, for instance, the cemetery even. And then we can see about with the work plan, what we're doing for some specific items such as the truck and its very kind of specific needs. Okay, so next then, unless there's any other kind of discussions on the fire truck. All right, so next we have the fall program planning, and the hello deadline is mid-July, so fast approaching.
Which one?
We're up at item 9.
Oh, sorry, I skipped down to the fire truck stuff.
It was for.
Oh yeah, it's kind of the items 8 and 11 were
Yeah,
kind of
okay.
the same, yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, the last meeting we talked about, pardon me. The Rosie the Riveter, presenter, and, I've sent off an email to that presenter, but, haven't got a reply yet. It should be pretty quick, I think, and, if want me to continue that, I'll be glad to do that, and, this would cost most probably because it's through the Colorado Speakers Bureau, the College Chautauqua. And, but there also are, scholarships that can pay for, all or big part of it. And, so I will continue on that, if that's okay with everybody.
Do you have an idea without the scholarship approximately what the presenters request?
Well, I think the fee is in around $500,
Okay.
and, so the scholarship might be 300 or 0, or maybe the whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of got, my feet kind of got dragged on that one, so I'll pick up the pace.
Do we have a plan B?
Yeah, alright.
Okay.
I would like to suggest we do another panelist format and use people who were involved with the Marshall Fire. We have Bob and Daryl McCool and Gladys Farsheen, and we could get other people. It's still very much with us, not just the fire, but the recovery advisory committee. I think the audience would find it quite relevant. It's a very good format with the panelists.
Yeah, that could be a good option too, and then that ties in, this year will be commemorating 5 years. I know, since the fire, so that could be interesting too, as far as like a fall program, and I know the intent of the remembrance too is to have some kind of groundbreaking ceremony on the 5-year anniversary itself of that too, so I think with the fall program, this could be kind of a nice way to lead into that.
We've got Lydia, who can share your memories, and we've got the town staff, because Liam talked about how they were all high, they almost worked 24/7 for days and days and days. And because there was just so much for them to do, and most of us, you know, we heard the people's stories about getting the dogs in the car and evacuating. But the town staff that had to come and work, and that's a whole different picture of it. And then, you know, as far as other people, we've got Nancy Thomas and Ross Morgan, who are right here on Superior, and lost their houses, and so yeah.
Yeah, it was it's very interesting how town staff was here a lot. You know, just round the clock and just trying to clean up, and Larry knows, and you guys all know, when the museum did burn down, we had to be on site for, you know, the debris removal and all that, and it was just like an emotional time, and then when we went down to Colorado Springs, Larry and gave that talk, that was pretty cool, so emotional.
Lydia, for the Amfram meeting in August, we're hosting that. And what we're doing is a panel.
Okay.
These panels seem to be the new trend. You're going to be invited. You probably haven't caught up to you. Clint, Folsom, yeah. Larry, Mary, Karen probably, and maybe Dalton, if we can, because what we want to be able to do is say, this is, you know, what happened. This is that initial first few days. What's the cleanup? How did we start rebuild? How did we start restructuring the collection? And that, you know, I mean, Karen was drinking from a fire hose and managing collection. How did we do that? Because it is museum people and educating.
Right.
Dalton, the point of you being there is the forward looking with the
Yeah.
remembrance. And just do a panel of that and then we're taking them out, so.
Sure.
I was gonna bring up for the work session that I think we may wanna be writing our questions to be proud for the work session instead of doing cataloging on that one. And then I'm gonna try and fill Larry and Dalton's shoes and MC the thing, so, and we're at town hall for that.
When is it?
Is August 17th? I'll look it up for you, Gene, it would be great if you could come, because I'm sure Lions will come up.
Whatever that Monday is, and
Yeah, whatever that Monday is,
we're having,
but it might be if we can't get Rosie the Riveter,
Yeah,
we can build off of that. And then but if we get Rosie, we can do it to spring or
Yeah.
vice versa. Yeah.
Well, in a way, it's because the Anfarm presentation is to Weidrich and Arletta. Yeah,
And Fort Lupton and
Yeah.
Loveland. And,
while the,
Lions.
mhm,
yeah, while the fall program is to people in Superior.
Superior. Mhm,
Yeah, so we could almost have a rehearsal with
mhm,
the
mhm.
Anfarm
Anfarm,
presentation.
yeah. And we just add a few more people, yeah. So, it is 17th of August at 1 o'clock. Kind of. And we're gonna be at town hall. Because then we can, one of the things they do is the members go and see the museum, so we're gonna have people at Hatsby and Grasso. With stuff open up for that.
But talking about the Marshall Fire, that bring up memories people don't wanna have
But
brought up.
my question was,
I mean,
do we have too many panels, and do we save it till spring and alternate it? Cause a panel this spring, a panel in the fall, do people start going, Cause it's too repetitive.
Right.
Yeah, so you get Rosie and then do it in the spring and almost use it as a
and by that point,
fundraising,
by that point,
oomph up the
Yeah,
fundraising,
there
because the
would be-
suggestions, great.
yeah,
Yeah,
progress of.
yes, and it brings in a new momentum of asking for funds without
Yeah, with that,
asking for funds,
yeah,
right? It's a reminder.
mhm,
Mhm.
okay. Yeah,
Like, I'm not gonna be shy when we're at Anfram and say, we're starting this, and
Yeah.
anyone who'd like to donate, here's the QR code, right?
Yeah.
It'd be two really different audiences too, though.
It would be, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think you'd have a lot of overlap, because Liam is a very different experience to Larry, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but, the Clinton Lydia overlaps significantly.
Yeah.
To either audience.
Sure.
Mhm.
But I like that idea, but yeah, let's stay,
Yeah,
cause I know Larry's already reached out to
Rosie.
get like the Rosie the Riveter, presentation going. We can see like if that comes to fruition or not, and then we can.
where
start
are we having the fall talk if this is under construction? Civic
It's
Center?
probably-
Civic Center, okay,
Yeah,
civic space, okay.
Well, we already determined that. but-
Given that we're getting 50 and 60 people at things.
Yeah.
The old town hall
Yeah.
conference room is.
yeah,
No, civic space would. is
It's-
nice.
it's- oh, it's-
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
one thing
yeah.
down, so.
yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah.
Alright, I think we have. I like this kind of strategy and this planning for the fall program, that we have a couple of different options to, and we'll just.
Yeah.
Be comfortable with kind of flexibility if things don't work with Rosie, otherwise I think we have a panel potentially lined up for the spring too. All right,
Can I ask a
so,
question though?
Yeah.
Lydia, with it being, knowing that Civic Center is going to be overused for lack of space here, is there potential as soon as Larry hears from Rosie or put some potential holds on the calendar?
Yeah, we
Because
can.
that room's gonna get,
but
Oh, yeah, it's.
already is, but
Right. So whatever dates you come up with, let
either
us
you guys
know.
talk about it at work
We'll
session
put it in the
or whatever, yeah.
That's a good point.
yeah,
Yeah, I would hold 2 days.
yeah, that's,
Or perhaps we better quick set a date then,
yeah,
now, or you know, okay,
yeah, for
Dates.
availability, let's see.
possible dates.
Yeah, don't be afraid to nudge accordingly to get some dates so we can
Right.
get this going, yeah. Yeah, cause that's a good point, that space is definitely gonna be.
Yeah.
Booked up during that period while the community center is closed. All right, so next is, 501c3 pursuit and organization. I know this also has some overlap with the Marshall Fire Remembrance because we want to identify all that. And I know, Heather has, been very good with kind of bringing this up too. Yeah, I would want to kind of be able to see if we're able to create some kind of 501c3 for our historical commission. Because as we get close to the end of the year, I mean, this is kind of a recurring theme, we get potential options for gifts that we have to turn down, unfortunately, just because of our current status. I think maybe now we're at a point, I'm wondering if we should have like a working group potentially just to focus on this, and just addressing kind of all the practical steps and establishing a timeline. I'm interested in at least exploring this further.
Can I ask Dalton, with your experience on remembrance, is it, is that part of the conversation as the fundraising side, or you guys have not approached that yet?
Yeah, we've talked about that. I want to like sit down some time with Andrew Vaughn, who's chair of CAPS, about this too, to just kind of organize things. And I know Councilmember Shaw has some experience with Severe Rising with this too, so that's offered some insight there. So I do think maybe this could be kind of similar to the Marshall Fire Remembrance. If we wanted to have overlap with CAPS, we could have a multi-group organization with maybe Heather, Councilmember Shaw, Andrew Vaughn, myself, and then if anyone else would be interested in being part of those conversations. What does everyone kind of think about that? Do you think we should firstly be exploring 501c3 as an option, and then secondly, is anyone else interested in kind of being further involved with those?
So part A, I think we should definitely pursue it, because we don't know what we don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like when DAR came to us, we had to pause everything, can't even have a discussion because we are part of a town, right? We're a government organization.
Right.
It seems like we need legal advice before
Yeah,
we get
before
too
we-
far down the road.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we need town,
Town legal advice.
we need
Yeah.
formal town guidance before we, because we could do a lot of work and
Yeah.
get that.
Yeah, so I think that could be good. I mean, we could have kind of a working group with town attorneys, schedule a meeting, just kind of reviewing this with some council representation too, and if we want to, we can have CAPS involved as well with this, and then that overlaps with Marshall Fire. Cause I know, I'm imagining Marshall Fire as a nonprofit will have a significantly higher donations probably, hopefully, than Superior Historical Commission, but if there's ways that we can work both of them kind of simultaneously or with each other, I think that'd be good.
Yeah, I think that the town cannot do it, so
Yeah.
it will have to be an outside body, so I'll talk to Neil on the side, not as council people, and see what his
Okay,
thoughts are. And then
Okay.
I'll let you know, Dalton,
Yeah.
and then you don't have to capture anyone on this
okay,
table for those conversations, and we'll bring it back.
okay,
Yeah, because it is a bigger
yeah,
ask, but it would be huge, because I think somebody could walk into the museum and say, I would love to donate $1,000 towards whatever, if that's,
yeah,
you know, if you have that
Or you do
conversation. Correct.
yeah, the map.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So then, Heather, if what I'm hearing is right, then the town really couldn't like help with administration of this organization.
No, it has to be a separate entity.
Yeah,
That's where the 501c3.
Right,
piece
It's,
comes in.
I think I would do it, it's like a booster club at a high
Right.
school,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
They, so support each other very symbiotically, but one does not administer the other.
No,
And vice
yeah.
versa.
But it just means somebody would step up. to do
Right.
that.
Correct, and then the town would receive the check.
Yes,
Mhm.
We just wanna make sure if whatever said body is, if it's historical commission, it goes that direction, and if it's remembrance, it goes to a different pot.
right, okay.
Yeah. That'd be good. Yeah, we can stay in touch with
Yeah.
that.
I
I
will,
know JJ has looked into this because we've had
Yeah.
these offers over the
Yeah.
years, and the one in particular, one of the people who comes to our evening program.
Yeah.
I wish I could donate to, but I can't, I wanna be able to deduct it from my taxes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
so there.
yeah. Yes, that'll be good. I mean, we can stay in touch with that, cause I know that's essential with partial background. I think I've already touched on work plan and everything there, so we can jump to upcoming events. So specifically the May 18th Boulder Heritage Roundtable Award Ceremony. Larry, you want to touch on that? Sure.
Sometimes known as next Monday.
Yeah, coming up.
Well, cheer.
Dalton, I don't know if you had a chance to see it or not, but I sent out an email to Sergeant Sullivan this morning and staying in touch with him, making sure he's primed and ready to go. So, once again, it's Community House at Chautauqua. And, there's a lot on the agenda for this, program, so we're gonna keep moving smartly as possible. And, when it comes to us, then Solomon will nominate us, so to speak, and, Dalton is gonna receive the, award and,
More
say a couple
Dalton?
words
Well,
probably.
not just,
No,
More for the,
it's
Oh,
the
yeah.
commission.
yeah, for the
Yeah,
commission.
the whole
The commission and the town.
It's not my name on it, don't worry. It's our work, it's the commission work.
That's, yeah, he's gonna be the delegate.
I'm not bringing it home with me.
no, that's
And-
kind of, I just wondered about the mayor and the town.
so the mayor's not able to go because he's out, and so it's actually fallen, I was like first, I was like, so I will be there.
Okay.
Yeah.
As well, because the mayor can't be there and Matt Bagley's out of town too, so
Yeah.
they're very unfortunately booked. But there was actually a little fight amongst the council on who was going, so.
Oh, really?
Okay.
So,
Good chance.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so
Right.
I get to be,
Well,
yeah,
great.
Either way.
Great.
yeah, I'm honored to be there, but just so you know, there were others that wanted to be there too, so we will make sure it's on the agenda
And
too.
I thought I'd say a couple things, but again, real quick. And, let's see. Oh, there'll be slides in the background of the before and after. Before the fire remnants, and then after the rest, rebuild. So,
Can you send me those slides? Cause that's what I was gonna build for Infront. So we're getting a lot of, we're using our intellectual capital here. I'm going so corporate on
and
you. Wait, if you can just forward it to me after, that'd be great.
already,
Oh, no, after the meeting, whenever you're ready.
okay.
So,
They're all on my hard drive, so. I have the following people RSVP'd for that evening: Susan, Scott, Karen and Wally. JG's gonna be there,
Yeah, should we attend?
Dalton and Heather. Is anybody else?
He said I would too.
Mary?
Yep, just to clarify, Larry, the program starts at 6, I think, right?
6:30,
Well,
the,
there's a little confusion here.
there always is.
The program I thought the program started at 6 with the food at 5:30.
Well, I thought it was the,
JG has 6 PM to 9 PM.
Yeah.
So.
So the program's at 6:30.
yes,
So then we
I'll
don't eat the
double check.
food until 6 o'clock then, right?
right.
Okay.
The,
Right,
so I
we're
just,
sandwiches, aren't we?
I pulled it up on the
Yeah.
website.
I wanna say, Dalton,
On the website, refreshments will start being served at 6.
Okay, good.
The ceremony starts at 6.
That's what I need,
yeah.
Yeah.
because we're bringing the food and when we need to be there.
Well, some of it,
Some of the
If
food-
Walter would eat all the
Yes,
sandwich-
not all,
Uh,
not all the food, some of the food.
Depends on what I get eat before we get done.
Oh, jeez.
So Karen, you probably need the food there at 5:45 if it starts at 6.
Yeah.
Correct, get it set up.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
Yeah,
well, we
or,
were gonna get there, and have it ready by 5:30, so I've got.
Even
the wrong
better.
Times on.
Yep.
We can beat there by a little after 5:30.
Yeah,
yeah, I think so. I don't think we wanna push it too far because the parking is always such a premium.
Right.
Monday night might not be too bad there.
Oh, I. This nice weather holds.
Yeah.
And probably wise to carpool if possible, and then what I always find is that you going west on that street, it's named after a flower like sunflower or something like that, and then just keep going up and kind of in back of the auditorium, there's some parking spaces by the office where you check into the Chautauqua. Or some parking spaces, generally, good luck.
I would like to ride with someone, because by the time it's over, it's getting past my driving time at night.
Well,
So
Gorsuch,
you're talking
well,
after-
Gorsuch is going together with the Jersey Mike, so we might be short of
Right, okay.
space.
Okay.
Who invited Jersey Mike?
Yeah, sometimes it varies down there. We've been down there when there was hardly, wasn't a whole lot of people attended that, and then it was during COVID, they had, what was it, 100 people down there? I think it was, Karen and I ended up having the privilege of ending up with some of that.
No,
yeah,
Nice. that's right.
we spent 3 years avoiding it and caught it at the,
Oh, is that right?
at the Chautauqua event.
I think it's all set up, ready to go, so, I need to let them know how many people are coming just because of the get into issues with seating and stuff like that. So if y'all wanna sit together, we'll have you wave.
From the road, so I'm out for my road.
Doesn't hurt to be a little bit early.
That's absolutely right.
Yeah, for those of you that have never been, I think it's a really interesting program. It's not just the Square Nail Awards. They talk about books that people have written in the last year for Boulder County. They also have a slideshow where they show preservation projects in Boulder County. It's really, I find very interesting.
Yeah, and people get recognized for maybe fixing up their house and having it in cooperation with, City of Boulder.
There's a lot of stuff to talk
Planning board.
Yeah, I think we've been going for 20-some years. I find it very interesting.
Yeah.
Our friend over in Iowa, Kathy Kaler's gonna get, she put together a big old thick book on the history of Niwot, so she's getting recognized for that, for example. Yeah, okay, we'll see some of you there.
Yeah. All right, so with that, the next item then is the June 6th Open Museum Days. And in addition, we'll have the cemetery. How have the hours been for people with the cemetery hours? Right now, we've kind of been typically doing 11 to 1. I think that's still good 2-hour kind of time slot. Okay,
I don't think you need to go any more than 2 hours.
yeah,
Go ahead, Mary.
Is that Dalton and Scott doing that? Do you need a sport umbrella or a little pop tent with the, if it's hotter than 80 set in? Okay.
yeah. I think I have some umbrellas at least, so I can break that up too. Yeah.
I'll also check, see if there may be some vets that'll be interested in coming up there and helping.
Oh, yeah.
And we've given them a lot of information on that, so I think they're kind of a little more well versed than you might think.
Yeah, that'd be great, and I'll be there, so Scott and I, maybe we can both be up at the museum that day. I mean, not the museum, the cemetery.
Are you gonna open the ASTE first?
Yeah, I could open ASTE first and then head up to the cemetery. And who else available on the 6th as far as like ASTE Grasso and the morning afternoon shifts?
I can be there,
I am.
probably getting there slightly later than 10, but then staying through the day if needed.
I can open up Grasso again.
Okay,
Is anybody not available for the sixth?
So you're gonna be at the museums at ASTI, or no,
In the afternoon.
we're gonna see it to me.
on the sixth?
Yeah.
Yeah. we're
Yeah.
gonna be there.
Okay,
Well, and I'll be there in the
Okay.
afternoon.
okay,
Yeah,
cause I can be at either place too.
okay.
And do we have Catherine?
I don't know,
But
Yeah, that's
Well,
her schedule, so,
right,
but she gets assigned with the
Okay.
town. I'll plan to be at ASTI because if we get a lot of people, then I
Okay,
can sneak to the basement.
okay,
Go into my hole.
so in the morning,
okay.
I'll do like we did last time.
okay, but then,
So we have.
Yeah, so if you're
Carol, Asti in the morning.
And you can-
Karen,
you
Molly,
can
Asti in the
grass
afternoon.
or ASTI.
yeah,
Yeah.
we would just, it's nice to have two people at Grass.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say, if Mary gets there late and Larry opens it, then you and I can do second grade field trips and county liaison stuff. Well, while we're between visitors, Larry,
At Grassville,
at ASTI. So
Oh,
when you
I
get
thought-
to Breatho, he can come over at ASTI.
okay,
Chop chop.
So basically Mary and Larry with Grasso, Karen and Molly, Asti afternoon, and Susan and Jill with Asti morning.
No, Larry and Susan at Grasso,
Okay,
until Mary gets there, and then Larry will come to ASTI with me.
okay,
Oh,
So
okay.
I will be flying solo at ASTI till Larry gets there.
okay.
Unless you and Scott wanna leave, stay there till the cemetery's open. Scott's like, no way.
so you're gonna be at ASTI in the morning, John?
Yeah.
So are you confused yet, Lawrence? I understand if you.
And Scott will be up at the cemetery.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Okay.
So next item then is the June 12th, historical commission meeting. Remember, June 12th, this is, a week ahead of our usually scheduled meetings. Just because June 19th is Juneteenth, and that's a holiday, so I think town offices are all gonna be closed on that day. And that then makes, June 19th our work session day. So kind of just flip things around by week.
Yeah, and if we can get, I'd like to do in-frame prep that day, so we should get as many people as possible.
Okay,
Say again?
We'll do in-frame prep on the 19th. That way we've got time to catch people in July, so we're not coming in hot in August.
A preparatory,
I'll check my availability
Yeah.
to see if I can.
Yeah, but that way we can start brainstorming questions and give people time to prep and.
I might be able to, because I usually have that already blocked out, and
Okay,
I don't have work.
and the
on-
town offices are closed that day, right?
Juneteenth?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They are.
Yeah,
Mhm.
okay.
so I should be able to.
So we should just go to Grasso and just
Yeah, that would.
hang out in Grasso, yeah, like we normally do.
Or ASTI,
Or ASTI, yeah.
yeah, we might have.
Yeah, I said Grasso, didn't I?
I'll make sure I get that on the calendar.
We don't have enough chairs at Grasso.
I know.
We could do like the teenagers and hang out at Safeway.
See, we can go up to the old fan. That building, the open space, like the teenagers.
Hang out at the fan house, as long as no graffiti.
That's the middle schoolers are at Safeway, the high schoolers.
Yeah. Alright, so that's all good to know with the open museum days, the June meeting and the June work session days. And now we can move on to staff updates. I think we inadvertently covered a decent amount of these. Lydia, do you have anything you wanna add into any of these items?
So for the Grasso project that we're doing, we have 3 contractors. I've met them all out there. They are going to put together a cost assessment, appraisals and things like that we don't have back yet, but everyone's done a site visit. So we're just waiting. So one was Deep Roots, the other one was Formworks,
Okay.
and the other one was Barbara shooting, it's her company. And all three, I know Deep Roots has worked on the outbuildings before. I mean, they're great, and it's funny, but the other two have worked with Deep Roots in the past, so it'll be a collaboration, I think it's gonna, whoever we get will be really good.
Just the grant we're talking.
Yes, the Grasso Park project, the grant that we're working on, so we're right on schedule, we're just waiting for them to shoot back those assessments. And then Brooke is, doing the grant writing, so.
Well, and Lydia, you put it down, what you put together to help us with that walkthrough.
Oh, thanks,
Thank you.
yeah, you're welcome, yeah, you're welcome.
So you get the bids, so to speak, and then the grant was
Yeah, and
based
then,
on the request, monetary request is based on
yes, on the need, and they're all gonna do the letters, as far as what those outbuildings need and things like that.
I think there's gonna be quite a bit of work that needs to be done on there.
Yes,
Isn't sealing the outside of those buildings one of them?
yes, I've done,
didn't
so,
Well, I'm talking about the side boards themselves. One time we talked about putting a
yeah,
coating of sealers or
oh, yeah,
preservative or something on it.
there's a lot of stuff
Yeah, I figured there's a lot of stuff.
done there, and in a perfect world, we were hoping to get it like all done at one time, but the one, person that I met out there, she goes, it might even be worth splitting it up into phases, and then next year you can even apply for another grant, just to make sure everything gets done that they need to get done. But we'll see.
That is a good idea.
That was just an option.
Excellent. And then we have the note, JG is likely gonna be attending the Heritage Roundtable. Grant we covered Superior 130 and the next Hello Superior. I don't have any other additional details there.
No, she just said thank you to those who provided quotes
Okay,
for the 130 story,
Yeah.
and she's gonna reach out if there are any questions or concerns before it goes to print.
Okay.
Comes.
great. Line signage, we already kind of talked about that a little bit, that's still in works, and we'll identify a specific date with that. Looks like maybe if we tie that in with the photo ops, maybe it'll be late summer, early fall.
Yes,
Pegboard cost reimbursement, so now that the pegboard is all up, we just need to reimburse to Jill. Moving forward with that.
It's full of holes.
I'll make a note of that, it's full of those, so.
Subtract that.
Makes it sacred, I guess, for all.
Yeah, it's whole, just like Swiss cheese.
so the commission is 3,500.
Yeah,
Total cost of the pegboard from Amazon was 168. Jill bought supplies to make a frame and paint, everything for 87. And then JG said a special thanks to Jill.
Oh,
And her husband Dave.
and Dan.
It was a lot of fun.
big dance.
Mary and I were like putting everything up. It was great. I know, but you can rearrange it.
Well, that's what it's about.
Perfect.
And it's not bright orange anymore.
Yeah. Not historic, neon orange.
It took like 5 coats of paint.
Oh, I believe
It was
it.
crazy. I mean, it was so, oh, and we were trying to put the stuff in originally, and some of them were thick from the coats of paint.
Yeah.
They all worked and nothing chipped, so, yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
But it was a moment, I was like, oh, I'm gonna chip all this paint off.
It's like, we should have done like a before and after shot.
Yeah.
Oh, no, he lives it off the wall.
I just knew we can lift the picture off him.
Oh, yeah, we have
Because
to,
it from-
yeah, we can still use that.
No, and when you wanna rearrange the stuff, cause people wanna see it and touch it, rearrange it, it's just like, yeah, so. The knives aren't gonna fall off in your head.
And
Awesome.
And then last item here under staff updates is a note that August through November, our meetings are gonna be at town hall, because of the work that's at the community center. And with that, Any other item? I can't believe it's 11:39 for a Sunday. We got through this.
Yeah, we're early.
Yeah.
We need to remember how we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's longer agenda.
That was a long agenda.
There was 2 pages.
Yeah.
What all are they gonna do in this reconstruction with the
It's all like foundation work.
community center?
Yeah, it's not pretty.
What is it?
Yeah,
And
foundation work.
a lot,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, not pretty.
Yeah.
yeah, and then outside,
Yeah.
like,
Gonna be great though.
it's good.
But any other items from anyone else? All right, so with that, do I have a motion to adjourn today's meeting?
I'll make the motion to adjourn today's meeting.
Motion from Wally, got a second?
Second.
Second from Mary, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Put your hand down, put your hand down.
Oh, air pressure here. Seeing none, we are adjourned.
All right.